3 years. And then he came up with this. First, he had this cycle, pedal-based garbage vehicle. It was that which I think started making people take him seriously. He was actually trying to solve a very... Mr. Bhaskara Murthy, why did you come up with the tires, please? He was actually working on something which is badly needed in the society. Otherwise, people were actually used to drive it. And he actually then came to me and so said he wanted to be electrically driven. He wanted to be with a solar rooftop. I thought it was difficult. It will not make economic sense. But 6 months down the line, he was there with the product. And slowly opened the market. He came in when electric vehicle was just a talk. He had to actually break open the market. And finally, the vehicles had to perform. He was able to get here and there some orders. He got some orders in different factories for material movement. The important thing was that he went, delivered, and provided such services that people came back and say, well, he does a good job. Even if it's a very early stage and there are things lacking, he will make it up for with his services. And he came up with one product after another. And finally, one day he came and said, he would like to make this very, very low cost tool. I just thought that this is a very crowded market. He's not going to make it. But every few months he will come with one improvement or one other. And finally, it is all here as a final. I think his grit, supported by people like Manu, I think over the last year and a half he has got transformed. Because people like Manu and several advisors that he brought in started working with him. And at that point onwards, from that point onwards, there has been no stopping. This is actually a story of a very typical entrepreneur at IIT Madras Research Park. This is not something new. It is the determination, not giving up, reinventing themselves again and again, innovating all the time to find solutions to a problem in the market. They have never been entrepreneurs in the past. At most, you can call them some technical people, some engineers. But they will learn everything and they will succeed. It is that spirit which has taken IIT Research Park, IIT Incubation Cell forward. We are very proud to have somebody like him in midst of us. Thank you.
Honored to have amongst us Professor Bhaskar Ramamurthy, Director of IIT Madras. A founding member of the Tenet Group at IIT Madras, he has been active in developing telecom and networking technologies and in incubating companies to develop market products. He is currently also the Honorary Director of the Center of Excellence in Wireless Technology, a public-private initiative at the IIT Madras Research Park to make India a wireless technology leader. A fellow of the Indian National Academy of Engineering and of the Institute of Electrical and at the Institute of Electronics Engineers, Professor Ramamurthy's support for PiBeam since its inception has been invaluable to the company. I now request Professor Ramamurthy to address the gathering.
Good afternoon to everybody. I must apologize for coming in late. I warned Vishak, I had another engagement, official engagement with the institute, which I cannot get out of. I am the chair of the committee, so I had, and that the duration of that committee is not predictable. I warned them, but exactly as I wanted it to happen, it went longer than I anticipated. So so I apologize. So we, I think it was my colleague Ashok, I want to speaking and explain to you about Fibeam story, but we have so many stories like this, so many startups here. Our ecosystem is now fairly well known. We've had lots of companies, different types of companies, each with its own story. But they're all fairly typical in some way. Many of them start very, very small, start with almost just a hazy idea, and they keep morphing as they develop, as they learn more. It's a process which I think also leads to these things take more time. Our startups take more time to get to the point where Fibeam has got to today. Along the way, they have done many things right and many things wrong, and they have moved ahead. I was mentioning about this first thing that they did, which is to make this fish cart sort of an electric vehicle along with solar powering. So that was done, IIT operates, uses these manual fish carts, these three-wheeled vehicles for in our solid waste management collection. So he took one of those and he was modifying it. Actually, the modification was done in the compound of the director's house. He's a director of a big house, not much use for the big compound, so actually he did it quite a bit of the work there. And incidentally, I think Vishak, they also borrowed some tools from me which are not returned. So I am not a great guy with tools, but I have a few tools that's also, some of them disappeared. I asked my wife, she's here today, she also is very happy to hear about this, he invited her. And she said, yeah, he asked for something and I gave it. So anyway, it's okay. So that's how it all starts, but today it's come this far. We are very, as I mentioned in the before, I was asked to give a quote for the press release. We are very proud of all our startups, and they take longer, but they are also longer lasting, I believe. Most of them end up making something or the other, making some device, gadget, so on. So, even if they provide services, very often they make special equipment with which they do provide the service. So, so largely in that sense, in a very broad way, you can say largely manufacturing-driven type of startups, many of them here. And of course, everything has software in it now, and very soon the software, the more successful you become, the more big software becomes in that product. So, I'm sure he will say this has got AI, data, and all that. Everybody says these things. Okay, so that's how it will be, and we really hope to see. This is our at least our second electric vehicle company that's coming to the stage. That is well known. We hope to see many of these in different types of products in the EV space, different types of contributions, different markets that they address, and so on. And we hope to see all of them succeed in their own way. And for us, we don't. I don't think this unicorn business matters so much. We want companies of all sizes and all types to succeed. If they are growing, if they are making profit, if they are able to grow, if they are able to make newer and newer products that are accepted, if they are able to employ more people, they are successful. If people want to invest in them, and maybe if they are able to get investment from the public, all these are fine. We don't really worry too much about the size of the company in that sense. I think there is a place in the world for all types of companies. One-man shows that are very, very sophisticated and very productive. Small companies, large companies, consultancies, boutique companies, and very large companies. There is space for all of them, and we encourage all of them. So it doesn't really matter, at least I believe that doesn't really matter. The valuation or where it goes, etc. As long as they are on an upward path, they are growing, they're making products that people want, they're making newer and newer products and better products, and they are giving, they're a good place for people to work at. Many more people join them to work. They love to work there. This is really what it's about. So I wish Fibeam all the success with this product too. This is the second product. Am I right, Ishak? Right, and wish them all the success, all success with this product, and look forward to many more interesting things from them. May God bless. Thank you.
Thank you for those words, sir. We now have Mr. Prashant Pansari, current head of business operations and India growth at airmeet.com, who is also the investor director of Eagle 10 Ventures, joining us virtually for a few moments.
This is Prashant. I'm a co-founder at Eagle 10 Ventures, and we are proud partners of Pibeam Electric, which is truly reimagining the way the Indian transportation and Indian logistic industry is evolving. Right? And today is a very special day because we are launching Pimo, a truly innovative product in the two-wheeler segment, especially towards the lower end, very affordable and very convenient, especially for people who would like to look at it from the last mile connectivity as well as the leisure view travel. So Pimo is something which is going to change the way people look at short commute for personal as well as for e-commerce giants to have their last mile deliveries done. So we're very happy to have this launch today. Sorry I couldn't be there in person as I am stuck in Bangalore. But look forward to seeing the product in Bangalore very soon. Very excited to have Pimo launch today.
We also have one of our investors, Shri Lalit Maria, who's the general manager of R&D at GAIL, joining us virtually for a few minutes. Mr. Maria is the head of the GAIL Startup Initiative, which is also Pibeam's largest investor. Unfortunately, Mr. Maria is unable to join us this afternoon due to other commitments, so we will move on. It gives me great pleasure to introduce Mr. Dinesh Karthik to everyone gathered here. I'm sorry, okay. Sorry about that. Our next guest is Mr. Manu Iyer. Mr. Iyer manages Blue Hill Capital, a fund that invests in deep and clean technology. Blue Hill Capital has made 10 investments till date, including 4 in IIT Madras. A Thai charter member and an active angel investor in his personal capacity, Mr. Iyer is also the advisor and investor director at Pibeam. I request Mr. Iyer to say a few words.
So hi everyone. First of all, thank you to everyone for being here. As we battle, the pandemic around us. So thank you, Professor Bhaskar, Professor Jhunjhunwala, cricketer Dinesh Karthik, all our investors, our customers, and all our well-wishers. Thank you for being here. So I want to take a few minutes to kind of explain how we got here, how we took the decision to build, the Pimo E2-wheeler. I had some numbers for you on a deck. It was just 2 slides, but unfortunately we're not able to get it on. So I'll just read out the numbers. So 44 million, right? 44 million was the number of E2-wheelers that were sold in China last year. The same number for India, 140,000. 280 million is the total number of e-two-wheelers that is currently running in China today. 20 million is the number of fossil fuel based two-wheelers that were sold in India last year, 6 million of which were scooters. And when I say e-two-wheeler, I mean e-bike, e-cycle, e-scooter, pedal assist, everything, the whole gamut. So the size of the gap is massive, and it's apparent that there is a 15-year lead that needs to be bridged. So let us look at quickly what the drivers were for that growth and mass adoption of e-two-wheelers in China. First of all, compared to the West, right, the two-wheeler adoption, the electric adoption was driven largely by two-wheelers compared to four-wheelers, which is the Nissan Leafs and the Teslas of the world. In China, it was largely driven by two-wheelers. We have similar demographics, similar use cases, and similar two-wheeler percolation. The massive pollution problems drove adoption, which leads to the next point of government regulation and government subsidies. Finally, the last point is battery tech, improvements in battery tech. I'd like to spend a quick minute on this. For us, for most of us, electric vehicles are one large monolith. But if you actually peel back the layers, you'll actually find that there are multiple differences within this monolith. The prime being lead acid. Now, for those of us that don't know what lead acid is, it is what is in all our vehicles today. It powers lights, it powers the wipers, it powers your stereo, right? But did you know that the lead acid battery was developed in 1859, 150 years ago, right? So lead acid is terrible at being the prime mover of the vehicle. It takes too long to charge, it has very poor life, less than a year, and its full capacity cannot be used. Lithium and lithium ion and its newer variants, on the other hand, have better battery life, can charge to a greater capacity, and have a life of 3 to 5 years based on usage. I'll stop with lithium technology before Professor Junjunwala says anything. So an interesting tidbit on this is 50% of the cost of the PIMO is just the cost of the battery. So as the cost of the battery falls, the vehicle's price will drop and it will offer better ROI for various use cases. We had shown a first prototype of this vehicle in mid-2019 to Professor Junjunwala. And since then, the ground reality of mass manufacturing in India has hit us, and COVID. And so finally we are here launching it today. Most of the competing vehicles in this space are fully imported from China. With 90% of the components made in India, we hope to be the drivers of change in bringing this robust 50-kilometer range, 2-hour charging, 25 km per hour top speed vehicle to the market. We have a host of variants planned and various improvements planned. We're confident of making a sizable dent in the e-two-wheeler market. Thank you, and we look forward to seeing you in the rally.
Thank you, Mr. Iyer. It gives me great pleasure to introduce to you now Mr. Dinesh Karthik. Much beloved amongst fans of cricket, Mr. Karthik is the current vice captain of the Calcutta Knight Riders and the captain of the Tamil Nadu cricket team. First ever Indian cricketer to win a 20 International Man of the Match award, Mr. Karthik played a stellar role in India's Test Series win in England in 2007. India's thrilling win in the Nidas Trophy Tri-Series final against Bangladesh in 2018 was due to Mr. Karthik's nail-biting 29 runs in 8 balls. I now request Mr. Dinesh Karthik to address the gathering.
Good evening. First of all, I wish I could just do an Ashok sir there and stop you midway and This function is not about me. I'm very happy to be here, mainly because when it comes to environment, I've been somebody who's been observing this very closely, and I think India is one of the slow runners in that race. So it's good to be part of a startup, and more importantly, this vision needs to be driven all over the world, and definitely I hope India is taking this vision forward. I always believe that everybody has dreams. Every person, even the person lying down on the street, has a dream. But it takes a lot of qualities for that dream to become a reality. And from the little that I spoke to Ashok sir, I think Vishak is one of those who I think woke up every day, had the hard work, had the resilience, had the vision, and had the belief to do something special and change the way this market is with regard to this product. I can go on and on. Recently in the cricketing world, which is where I am coming from, when I was sitting in this dais for a few moments, I was a little nervous because generally you don't sit around too many intellectual people. It's not one of our strengths, So to be sitting there amongst a lot of people who are far clever in every walk of the world, but to be there, to be here today, at the start of the launch of this product, rather, I'm very honored. My whole thing is, recent past, there's been one cricketer who's actually caught my attention a lot. Even in fact, I think he's got the whole attention of the world right now. His name is Natarajan. He comes from a small city, a small village called Chinnamapatti from it's very close to Salem. That boy used to take a share auto and then get to his ground. There's only a ground to practice in Salem. So that boy made the effort consistently to go using a share auto. When I see this product, I'm thinking maybe if that would have been in his life, he could have, commuted much better, much easier. But I think this vehicle, as much as it's going to be a very integral part of society, I think, it's for people like that, people in various parts of the world where commuting can be hard. It's for that. Just, when he was talking about the slides, the three things, micro, the second thing is something that caught my eye, affordability. I think whenever a startup comes in, the whole world, the most important thing that they're looking for is affordability factor. And the way you guys have priced it, I think you all will definitely have a fair share of this market. When I heard Bhaskar sir speak, he was speaking that there's been a company before, but I'm very, very confident that just like he said, like I always believe that every cricketer has a role to play in this, in the cricketing world. I'm sure that, this bike, your company, Pimo, definitely have a good place in this world with regard to the EV section. There is no doubt about it. I think the nation needs more people like you because I think one of the most important aspects of India, I actually genuinely feel you should send a lot of these bikes to Delhi. From whatever I hear, the situation there is not great. But more importantly, I think I rode the bike today. It's got a very nice pickup, and for a person like me who likes fast bikes, the pickup wasn't bad at all. So I think to get that out of battery-operated vehicle is not that easy. Credit to you all. I think you can definitely be the torchbearer of this product that you've launched, and you can take it to various heights and scale great things that's never been achieved before. When I came to your office today and I saw all the workers, one thing that I noticed is the average age must be very, very less. So it's great to watch youngsters, do these kind of things. When I was speaking to Ashok sir, he said today's generation is all about resilience. They never say die attitude. They're just not willing to give up. And I can see from the conversations you've had, you probably brought him a few ideas, some good, some bad. But I think every time you've gone back, brought back a better idea with some little more innovations, and that's what this generation is all about. The world needs more people like you with a vision like what you've achieved. People, I think a lot of their livelihoods have been stopped, and it's been a very tough place to live right now. But in spite of all the odds, the way you've encountered everything, I'm sure with a lot of people guiding you. Whenever you have a dream, you need different people at different stages of life to just kickstart. Even the fastest of cars need the first gear to start moving. I'm sure there have been various people like Manu Iyer sir, Ashok sir, Bhaskar sir are helping you at various stages to take this idea of yours forward. The greatest of cricketers is the sport that I play. Have always had different people at different stages, giving them that little push and the little belief that what they're doing is right and they're on the right path. And I'm sure these mentors and these guides would have been saying the same thing to you, but the idea and the vision and the hard work is always yours, and I hope you scale great heights. I wish the company all the very best, and I'm very confident this product will do well. From my side, I wish to thank everybody who's come here. Thank you so much. It's been an absolute honor and privilege. It's not it's very rare for me to come A, sit with a bunch of intellectuals, B, be a part of a startup which has youngsters. So I'm really happy to be here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And as I keep saying, the nation needs people like that. Thank you.
Thank you for those words, Mr. Karthik. We now come to the most awaited part of the evening. Pybeam has worked long and hard on nurturing their dream, developing it into a product, and overcoming many challenges along the way. The entire team has been eagerly awaiting this moment. Without further ado, I now invite Mr. Sashi Kumar to guide our honored guests through the unveiling of the pie mill. I invite Mr. Dinesh Karthik to unveil the first pie mill.
All on one side. That's it.
நம்மகிட்ட பிடிங்க நான் ஆஃப் பண்ணிட்டு வந்துடுறேன் லைவ் போயிட்டு இருக்கு
அதுக்கப்புறம் அவங்க ஃபோட்டோ எடுப்பாங்கல்ல அப்புறம் மாஸ்க் எடுத்துகிட்டு பண்ணி எடுக்கணும் ஃபோட்டோஸ் மாஸ்க் எடுக்கிறதுல சுத்தமாக ஷாக்
Thank you, sirs.
Very proud to see the bike. Big cheers to Vishal. Thank you for bringing this. Your support means a lot. We have always been fans of yours. With the IPL next time.
இப்படி வண்டி ஆஃப் பண்ணி ட்ராப்பில் பண்ணிட போகிறாங்க ம்.
Good evening all. So once again, we have unveiled the PIMO. I just want to introduce you to PIMO and talk a few words about PIMO and introduce it to the world. So the catch is the tagline, just unlock and glide. Okay, so we have come out of COVID. Now we have this vehicle which we can use for going to the office or any application that you want to move around. First thing I wanted to talk about is again affordability. 28,000 plus taxes, less than 30,000 e-bike, which gives you 50 kilometers range. It moves at 25 kilometers per hour. You don't have to pedal, you don't have to sweat at all. That's what PIMO is for you. It is your office vehicle, it's your personal vehicle, it's your kids' vehicle. It can be anything for you. You can go to grocery shopping with this. So multiple applications in single vehicle. We have multiple features that are unique to PIMO. In this segment, we don't see much comfort in riding the vehicle because it's like an electric bicycle. You have an electric bicycle seat, you have a rigid structure around it. But what we have in PIMO is something different. We have built this as a normal motorcycle. We want this vehicle to go on any Indian roads, whatever conditions, it should not fail. So that was the motivation that we had. We started designing this vehicle. So we have dual shock absorbers at the back. We have a swing arm which lets your entire wheel move when you go into a pothole, which is going to be frequent when you travel in roads which are not good. Even then, it is taken care. The seats are especially designed as a wide seat, like a scooter seat. It is not a cycle. We don't want anyone to call this an e-cycle. It is an e-bike, and the seats have been designed in such a way that it gives you comfort. It has a proper horn, right? So it's not like a bell. We have to see this as a e-bike and not like a e-bicycle. We have lights which are strong enough for you to take it to any highways. It moves at slower speed, which gives you more safety in riding this vehicle. So this vehicle has been designed under 250 watts of power, which means no registration required, no license required. So anyone can ride this vehicle. This makes it more attractive to all age groups. So we have got customers who are aged 78, 80 years old, and we have say 20-year-old on this. So it's a style statement they are making, it's a green statement they are making to the whole world. I want all of you to go right away. So it's available to pre-book so it has been available for pre-booking, but now we are opening it to the entire public. Anyone can pre-book from our site, pimo.com. Go to pybeam.com, go to pybeam.com, pre-order. The vehicle will be delivered at your doorstep. Talking few things about the battery, we use the lithium batteries which are capable to give you 50 kilometers range, charged in just 2 hours, and easy to charge. Any plug, you're good to go for 50 kilometers. You have a proper ergonomic design done for making you comfortable throughout the ride. Right? So it has a lot of utility-oriented features that we have put in, like a carrier at the back. Front, you can carry stuff you want to move around. You can even put a kid in the front. So that's why the seat is longer than normal seats. Right? So PIMO in its class, at this price point, this feature list, we believe that it is going to revolutionize the EV segment. And this has a lot of B2B applications. So we have a lot of people who are using petrol and diesel vehicles for deliveries and e-commerce, whatnot. But at this point, this is one vehicle for them, which they can use it for their daily use cases for their businesses rather than just the personal use case. We have 6 variant colors that we are putting across right now. And at this point, I would like to thank you, everyone who has come here and looked at our unveiling. And I would request everyone to try this vehicle at least once, then you will feel the difference of how different it is. Thank you. Now, we'll be playing a video of how a PIMO is completely made from scratch, from components to the bike that you see here.
இதெல்லாம் பார்க்குறோம். சிரிக்காத சிரிக்காத.
In addition to this being a product launch, the first PIMOs will be delivered to their owners outside near the Garden Square. This will be followed by a short rally within the premises of the research park, after which high tea will be served in the hall across from us. However, before we gather outside, I request Mr. Dinesh Karthik to come up on stage. I request Professor Bhaskar Ramamurthy to come up on stage. I also request Mr. Manu Iyer to come up on stage, please. I also request Ms. Namaswati Ghosh, CEO of the Incubation Center, to come up on stage. I now request Mr. Anuj Jain, Program Manager at PIBeam, to give us the vote of thanks.
Good evening all. At the outset, we would like to chief guests, Professor Ramamurthy, Professor Junjunwala, Mr. G. Prakash, Mr. Dinesh Karthik, Mr. Prashant Bansare, and Mr. Manu Iyer for taking their time from their business schedule to be with us this evening and make the event special for us. We would also like to extend our sincere gratitude to the investors, Eagle 10 Ventures, Eventsu Forum, Gale India, and Blue Hill Capital, and our customers for their continued patronage for the tremendous way they have showed us over the last years. We would also like to thank Fane Technologies, Shapes, the incubation cell at the IIT Madras Research Park, the staff, the technicians, and the research park for their unique presence and support to us for this, making sure this launch happens smoothly. We would like to acknowledge our team who has worked tirelessly for all the efforts that they put in. Every member of the PIBeam, without you guys, we would not have been seen this way. Any member who made this launch happen, who we have missed naming, thank you. We appreciate your efforts with much gratitude. Last but not the least, we thank everyone who attended this event in person and virtually for being a wonderful audience. Please know we value one of you and sincerely solicit your continued support. Thank you all once again. Thank you for joining us. Thank you.
With this, we come to the end of the evening's program in here. Thank you everyone for taking the time from your schedules to join us. Yes.
End all the lives. Are you sure you want to start the stream?